All right, YouTube, welcome back to the next video. This video today, we're talking about traps. This is gonna be a continuation from the previous video. We talked about these areas in the market, how to identify them, how to avoid them, and more importantly, how to take advantage. So let's dive into the charts. All right, so what we're looking at here is gold. This is a 1 hour time frame, and I want you to take a second and take a look at this price action and what do you see? More importantly, where is the trap? So just recently, we can see this had a strong push up with this white background here representing Asian session. Now we can see coming into London with this green background, a nice little pullback. And what we want to take notice of here is this level here. We have a double top resistance area, and now we saw a price push into this level here, which is now considered support, opportunity. Price pushes in, spiked in, pushed away, showed a bullish candle. This is looking for opportunity. So if we were to look at this and consider this a trap, why? Where would be the obvious spot that people would be putting stop losses here? So when people trade break retest levels and they have the breakout and prices retesting like it's showing here, this is going to be a spot right under this low that people would put stop losses. And again, when we can recognize where the majority of people are going to be putting stop losses, that is what we want to target. That's going to be our primary target there. So then it's just about recognizing these traps and how most people are approaching the market with support, resistance, double tops, double bottoms, trend lines, things of that nature, and how they're being traded, where they're putting their entries, more importantly, again, where they're putting their stop losses, because that's going to be our target. So this was an actual setup that I took advantage of. Once I recognized the trap that was taking place here, I wanted to look at a couple things and then determine where would be the best spot that I could get for an entry and take advantage of this low here, which was obviously an Asian low. So we can see that we're obviously bullish, and just with what I recognized here, I had a strong inclination that this was going to be a target, or maybe even this low here. I didn't think that this would be a reversal. I do think that this could continue, but on an intraday perspective, there is going to be opportunities that are counter trend. So we have a 1 hour bullish trend here that has been established for this week, but there were a couple of things that told me that price could run on this low or even this low here before continuing up, because usually when we see these strong impulsive moves, the catalyst behind them is running on liquidity, running on highs or lows. So when I dove into lower time frames and I jumped into a 30-minute, I really liked this low. Even though it looked like manipulation, what would disqualify this for entry here, even though this price action here ran on these relative equal lows before sending it, recognizing the trap, because this break retest level is going to be used by a lot of people who trade retail concepts, which is the majority of people in the markets, and knowing that they're going to put their stop loss there. So for that reason, I would not want to look to execute this candle here, knowing that my stop loss is going to be in the same spot that everyone else stop loss is going to be in. So for me, that would be a no entry, and that was going to be a target. Now, there was also one other thing that I recognized, and it was this low here. And I was viewing that as another target, but this was going to be my primary, or that could be a potential reversal spot to continue with the trend, which is the bypass pattern, which is something that we talk about pretty frequently when we have a run on lows, a strong move up, and then price looks like it's doing something else, and then it sweeps lows on a break retest level and then plays a lower manipulation candle. and does something like that. So that's always something to pay attention to. And then the other reason was we do have some imbalance in a lower time frame inside this impulsive move here. So this was definitely a spot that I was interested in watching to see what would happen here, but I would not personally take entry on that spot because I don't take entries when I have clear imbalance above or below an entry. But this was definitely a spot that I could see price reacting after taking this low. So this low was definitely going to be a target that could potentially be the catalyst for the bullish continuation. So where I'm looking for opportunity is going to be inside of this price action right here. So I'm going to drop down to a lower time frame and I'm going to start diving into what I saw and how I took advantage of it. Okay, so we're on a 5-minute time frame here. So what I saw leading up to New York Open here, we can see a little manipulation candle here. Let me fix that line. We can see price spiked up above this little range here, this little break retest level here, and showed an impulsive move down into our level. You can see it was rebalancing quite a bit of imbalance over here. So you can see multiple areas in here and in here, right? And price came in and rebalanced this one. So in addition to that low, we had a couple areas of imbalance here. So we saw a price come into this low, start pulling back. It came into this candle here. Now, prior to that, we can see another little break retest level right here. Now support broke through, now resistance. Let's label that. And we can see price here pushing up aggressively above this level here, respecting this manipulation candle here. Now keep in mind, I'm sleeping at this point. This is not something I executed, but this is just what I'm looking at when I got into my office leading up to New York Open, which is primarily when I'm trading. So although we didn't have a super clean candle in here, this is technically a manipulation candle, a run on highs on this break retest level, respecting previous manipulation here before pushing to the downside, breaking structure, which could be a good indication of a continuation move, another impulsive move down to the downside, especially leading up to that New York-London overlap where most of the volume is going to be in the market, right? That's where we're typically going to see those strong moves when they're going to happen. So here's 8 o'clock right here. Okay, so let's keep this running. I'm going to drop down. Let's play. Okay, so at this point here, this is when I am paying attention to what price is doing. So there were a couple of spots. This one here, I really liked. We saw price push up here, then slam down, breaking structure, and then we saw price do the same thing. We got a nice little flag pattern here, back up into this area here. It looks like it played the wick of that candle here. That last up candle came and tested it and then broke down or started breaking down. And this was the point of interest that I was looking for. Now that I'm in the office, I'm paying attention, we're in New York, it's showing that, you know, there's a good inclination of this coming down. So this is what I was looking at here, this spot here, stop losses above that high and targeting this low here that we previously identified. Let's see what happens here. So there is price pulling back up into that candle. Now this is also right around 8:30, and that's significant because we had a red folder or orange folder, I can't remember which, news event. So we can see as soon as price pushed back up into this new candle, price immediately just falls down, shows a solid reaction, and then sure enough, we saw price come down and attack that low, filling our TP, giving us a beautiful 1 to 8 risk to reward trade. So hopefully you got value from this second edition of the Traps video series. This is something that can be extremely powerful when you can recognize these traps and realize this is an area that I do not want to put an entry or stop loss, and then build setups that attack those areas so you can build up high quality setups and be on the right side of the market. Hope you got value, and I'll see you in the next one.